Right. Good morning. Good morning. Can I say good morning? How many times can I say good morning? How many ways can you say good morning? Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And good morning to everyone listening in on the other end. Yours truly, Prince Carter. We are live in living color this morning on the Information Superhighway. And we are, in fact, going to be taking your calls this morning. The call-in number is going to be 732-1212. Excuse me, 732-1212. I am attempting to get back in the swing of things, folks. Bear with me here as we, in fact, make sure that we are doing all that needs to be done as it relates to getting things up and running.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. Please do not beg folks for power. Nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
Talk to me, baby. Good morning, good morning, and what's the day? Wednesday morning. This is Prince Carter, your host of Town Hall Community Radio. We're going to be around for about an hour taking your calls, talking about whatever it is you'd like to talk about. Of course, one of the biggest things that I've been talking about here in the city lately is the American Rescue Plans finally is moving to the forefront, and we're getting folks to talk about the injustice that was done to us, by us. And these American Rescue Plan funds were allocated to our area probably, I would say, close to coming up on 4 years ago. And what has happened is the money has been placed in a account to draw interest while they create obstacles, hurdles, and loopholes for people to jump through to prevent them from getting it. One of the things that I like to talk about and I don't really like to talk, but I have to talk about it because nobody else wants to talk about it, and that is the mere fact that we as a people, as a community, went through a devastating, horrific pandemic that was one of the worst in over 100 years, and the federal government decided to send some aid to poor black folks in North St. Louis City. And those that represent us, and those that look like you and I, thought it was a good idea not to hand the money over to those people that it was sent to, but yet and still sit it in the bank, collect the interest, and create loopholes and try to figure out ways to prevent poor folks from getting the money. This ain't done by white folks now. This is done by black folks. And that's what makes it, to me, even that much worse. I think that if you, in fact, are representing a people, a community, and those people and the communities that you represent is allocated and awarded funding because of a tragedy, because of a very devastating thing that we went through, and wasn't able to work, wasn't able to leave the house, confined months in and months out, didn't know if you was going to live or die. All these things, and nobody talks about the psychological effects that this thing played out on folks. It is a shame that you have folks that look like you, that represent you, that try to find ways to prevent you from getting the money that was sent in your interest. That is what has happened here in the city of St. Louis, Missouri, and we're going to talk about it this morning. And of course, we do have a call-in line. If I can locate the number, I do believe it's 314-732-1212. That's 314-732-1212. You can call in and weigh in on this if you like. I'm going to be looking for some action to come out of this for me, and some motivation. And one of the motivating factors that I've come up with is, with this upcoming election, man, we need to do some serious voter education and voter registration in our community. And I'm going to make it my business to try to register as many people as I can between now and the 9th, which is the deadline, the 9th of October. So if you know someone that has not registered, someone that has they already registered, but they moved or relocated, encourage them to update their address so that they can vote from the address where they're living. And, you know, we oftentimes talk about voter registration. Rarely do you hear people talking about voter education. And one of the biggest problems, in my opinion, is that a lot of folk don't vote and don't go to the polls and vote because they're intimidated by the process and think it's more complicated than what it is. Some of them never been in a voting booth, so they wouldn't know. I recall as a child growing up, I attended Jefferson Elementary School, 1301 Hogan. Still remember the address after all these years. However, one of the things that let me see if I can get this call in. Good morning, caller. Is the lady or gentleman on the line?
This is a gentleman, brother. Good morning.
Good morning, Brother Monroe. How you doing?
I'm doing okay,
all right,
Brother Carter. I doing well. I got a birthday coming up.
When's your birthday, Bill?
October the 12th.
October 12th. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Early happy birthday to you. What I was just before you called in, I was just weighing in on. As a child, I remember I attended Jefferson Elementary School at 1301 Hogan. And I recall as a child, they used to have the voting booths in the gymnasium area, right outside the gymnasium, because it was a voter registration location. A voter location. Folks used to come to the school and vote. But they had these...
In many other schools. Right.
Right. But they had these machines, and they had the curtains, and they used to go in there and vote. And I never could see what they were doing as a child, but I always wanted to I couldn't wait till I got 18 so that I could actually vote, because I saw all the grown folks coming to the schools and going in this machine and vote. I didn't know what they was voting for or what they were voting about. I just knew they were voting. And I couldn't wait till I got 18 so that I could vote. And once I got 18, came of age, I registered to vote, and been voting ever since. And oftentimes we vote and don't know what we're voting for or who's on the ballot or what this proposition means and that. And we need to find ways to come up with tangible solutions to help educate and inform first-time voters, people that are not familiar with the voting process. It's a whole voter education and the importance of voting and what we should be voting for and what we should expect for our votes. Do you expect anything for your vote? I do. I expect representation. And as it relates to the city of St. Louis, we have not gotten any, as far as I'm concerned, representation as it relates to the American Rescue Plan funds that were sent here in the form of emergency money, not just for small businesses, but for homeowners, for education, for drug treatment, for all these things. We got $512 million is what they were sent, and was told that they could spend that and send back for more, but they couldn't send back for more until they spent that, which they haven't done. So what's your take on this whole voter thing, Bill?
Well, I encourage us to vote. We got to vote. And I heard someone mention one time, vote like your life depends upon it. Mm-hmm. And of late, that's become very true, hasn't it?
Oh, there's no question about it. More so now than ever. When we look at what's on the table as it relates to taking over the White House, the options, I mean, it's clear. Trump, in my opinion, has promoted hatred, racism, and he is in my opinion, divisive. And I think that no one like him should be. I don't even understand how he's even on the ballot, and he's been labeled as a felon. He's a convicted felon.
Well, Prince Carter, you do very well understand how he's able to make that happen.
White privilege. It's called white privilege.
Okay. And I would be remiss, since we mentioned voting, I'm going to ask this community to vote for Bill Monroe in the 2025 school board election.
When is it? When is the election, Bill?
There are three board of St. Louis Public Schools, the people who have hijacked and cannibalized our education system. There are 3 seats open to replace them in 2025. And those seats belong to the white supremacist Matt Davis, who utilized the poor black woman as a mouthpiece, Miss Tony Cousins. And I think...
can't nobody use you unless you allow yourself to be used.
Well, yes, we know, and some people are for sale at a very low price, and we've even seen some go to jail with that same thought. But Bill Monroe is running again for the Board of Education, St. Louis Public Schools, and I'm running for a seat on that board. And the opposition to doing the right things in our community, and line one has to do with these vacant buildings in our community that harbor thieves and everything else, and madness. And I want to say to vote for Bill Monroe as we come up. And there's more to come, but I had to say vote for Bill Monroe, and I've been campaigning for this for all year. But back to what you were saying with our community, I'm distressed about it. I was one of the guys that when Mayor Cesara needed some signatures to get on the ballot a couple of years ago, I was the first one up there and to go and sign up and enthusiastically. And I'm somewhat startled at the current things that are going on in our city hall, and we have a right not to be happy with it.
Let me jump in here, Bill, as it relates to our mayor, to Cheryl Jones. I'm highly disappointed in her administration thus far, as it relates to the way they've handled these ARPO funds. When you are campaigning for an office and you tell people that you want to help erase the Delmar divide and that you want to try to right some of the wrongs that have been done to our people in our community over decades, and then you get a big old pocketbook with $512 million and you set on it and don't try to start erasing none of that Delmar divide, that's problematic for me. And I think it should be problematic for everyone.
And listen, and let us applaud the sister with the beauty shop that we know well, and let us applaud the efforts.
Tamika Steigers over there at Locks of Glory, who did some investigative stuff and opened up some stuff and found some things that were totally wrong, and a lot of injustices are going on through this process. Bill, you know.
So I wanted to say that, Prince, because many times we labor on the problem, and we need to communicate the solution, and ask all parties to do so collectively. Mm-hmm. And she has done so and put herself at risk. And I just want to say that, Prince Carter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Tamika's done an excellent job. Yeah. Her and the coalition that she's working with.
That's right.
That Northside Business Coalition is going to be a force to be reckoned with, and they are moving forward to seek justice for the injustice that was inflicted upon the people in the community by those that are supposed to be representing us. Back to this, our dearly beloved mayor. I have supported this sister from the time she ran for state rep, she ran for treasurer, and every time she's run for the mayor, I've supported her. And I reached out to her prior to her even taking office about these funds. And a lot of people, when they got the money, here's one of the things that I find problematic, Bill. When they first got that $512 million, they never reported to the community where the money came from and what the money was for. They just said, we got a big chunk of money. And the reason we got so much money is because of the disinvestment in North St. Louis and the neglect and deterioration for decades is one of the reasons, coupled with the mental illness and drug addiction issues and problems that we are infested with in our community. So
I'm going to stop you for a minute, because you're right on target. All right, you're right on target, but hit me with solution right now. What does a Bill Monroe do in pursuit of taking that Beaumont High School and making
here's solution
for the what? How do we do? What do I
okay,
do?
Okay, I'm going to let you know, Bill. I have some solutions for you this morning. You have something we can do. Something, because when you're displeased with the way things are working or are not working, either you sit back and you complain about it, or you find tangible things that you can do to bring about overdue and needed change as it relates to the conditions and the issues that you're concerned with. One of the things you can do right now today, everybody, anybody that's listening within the sounds of my voice, what can you do to bring about overdue change and stop the status quo from continue to walk over us and mistreat us the way they're doing? And that is sign the petition, which is now circulating, calling for a audit and total accountability and transparency on all of the funds that were sent to poor black folks in North St. Louis. Okay, so by signing this audit, this petition, you would then initiate an audit, which St. Louis Development Corporation, the politicians, nobody can sit back and hide.
How do I sign it? Where do I go?
You can go to Locks of Glories and sign it. You can go to King Prince Barbecue and sign it. And not only that, hold up, Bill. Let me finish. Not only just sign it, but get a copy of the petition and get signatures as well. One of the things we must understand that no one can sign this unless they live in the city of St. Louis. Only registered voter. You have to be a registered voter, and you have to live in the city of St. Louis. We can't take St. Louis County people and East St. Louis. You got to be a city resident, registered in the city of St. Louis, and reside within the city of St. Louis. You sign by signing this. This is something that is not done on a daily basis, and they're not expecting. Just like how is it? Think about it. How is it that a person like myself, who has been on these funds since day one, and I've been jumping through all the hoops and following all the instructions and running around chasing my tail, trying to get this thing completed, as they keep changing game. They change the rules in the middle of the game, and they create rules in the middle of the game. How you gonna put out a program and then in the middle of the program create a scoring rubric that prevents some folks from even receiving funds? One of the criteria, Bill, for receiving points was if you live within so many feet of a school. Guess what? You done closed all the freaking schools down in our community, so a bunch of people ain't going to be within so many feet of a school, so they're not going to get those points. Those are obstacles and barriers created by St. Louis Development Corporation under the administration of the Mayor Tashard Jones for the city of St. Louis. Now, I didn't create that. I didn't make that up. They created that. That's their legacy that they're writing, is that they chose a system after they formed a program to get people funded. They created rules to prevent them from getting in the middle of the process. Now, if you don't think something wrong with that, something wrong with you. So, Brother Monroe, where are we as a people? We're frustrated. We're tired. We're sick and tired of being sick and tired. We're tired of going to meetings. We're tired of talking about this. We're tired of talking about that. We're just tired of all the nonsense, yet still nothing's been done or accomplished. What can we do? We got to get up and save ourselves, because ain't nobody coming to save us.
And let me say this while I'm on the air with you. There's a school board meeting coming up, October, the next Tuesday. And the community must come out. The St. Louis Public Schools, on that last board meeting, they changed the location in order to discourage people from coming out, and where there was not a whole lot of attendance. Hey, man, stay tuned to it, and please come out to those school board meetings, because the community is being forgotten, totally forgotten. Okay?
Bill Monroe, thank you so much for your call. Continue to listen.
Hearing revolution in the air.
That was my good buddy, Mr. Bill Monroe. And we got a wide open line, 314-732-1212. You can call in and talk about whatever you like. You might not want to talk about what we're talking about. You might want to talk about something else. I don't know. What's your concerns? How do you feel about the whole process? Are you concerned about the presidential race? Are you? Are you really concerned? I would like to know that I'm not the only one that's deeply concerned about this upcoming election. With the Trump on the ballot, which he shouldn't even be on the ballot, but how he was able to stay on the ballot is beyond my comprehension. But I want somebody to, in fact, help me understand what it is that Trump is going to bring to the table and what he's going to do as it relates to this country. And if I had to choose one word to go with Trump and this country, and that would be destroy, because that's what he would do. He would destroy this country. He would break it down. We would, go back to the way things were. It would be just a total bloodbath, man. I mean, because some of these young folks ain't going for what, was done to us historically as a people. What was done to our ancestors, young folks will tell you right now, I ain't my ancestors. I ain't going for that. And we look at how the city is moving right now. There's no, in my opinion, real policing of our community. There's no police. People are running red lights and stop signs as if there is no tomorrow, like the world is coming to an end. And the destruction that is causing by not enforcing traffic laws and increasing insurance. And insurance steady creeping up, the cost of insurance. The car insurance is going to be off, and the people that are causing the insurance to go up are the people that don't have insurance, are not going to get any insurance, and won't even get plates on the car. So, I mean, you got to understand, in a community where there's no rules, there's no regulations, everybody's running amok, everybody's running wild, you're going to have chaos, and there's nothing good that's going to come of that. So, again, we need to find tangible ways for everyone to get involved and find things that you can do in order to improve the quality of life for you and your family and your community. Why are we so content with the way things are right now? Is this the best we can do? Do we deserve better? Do we want better? Why do we go to the polls and vote time and time again, over and over, the same people in the office, and things don't change? Things sometimes, for the most part, get worse. Why do we do that as a people? I commend the community on its decision to go for a new congresswoman. I think we deserve better than what we had, and I agree with that. Now, will Wesley Bell be better than her? I don't know, but I surely hope so. But I think that we have to stop allowing people to sit in these positions, in these offices, that aren't producing, that aren't working in the interest of the masses of the people, not just your buddies, not just your friends. When you look at this American Rescue Plan money and this grant process that we've just undergone, and I tell you, people, as a community, we should be ashamed that we allow them to do the things that they've done with this American Rescue Plan money. For one, sitting on it for over 4 years when it was emergency money that was sent in the midst of a crisis. When you're in the middle of a hurricane and the storm to come here and knock you down, when you come out the hurricane, you need your resources right then and there, not 3-4 years later. And that's what happened. COVID-19, folks, was a tragic thing that happened to our country. And whomever is responsible, we may or may not never know for COVID-19, but we do know the impact that it had on us all. And we know that we needed some funding. And one of the things is that people, when I first started talking about this money, were under the impression of trying to say that I was begging the mayor or St. Louis Development Corporation for money. No, I was knowledgeable of money that was sent in my interest by the federal government in the midst of a crisis. So I was up front on this thing, trying to get other folks on board and wake folk up to get the money. And I did, but I woke up the wrong folk. I woke up the folks that was in the pockets of the politicians. I woke up the folks that was family members and friends of the politicians. And for the most part, they were the ones that were able to come and create businesses after the fact and get $800,000 here, $1 million over there. They took care of their friends and their politician buddies with this money that was sent for poor black folks in a distressed area in the midst of a crisis. But nobody wants to talk about that. The media won't talk to me about it. They'll talk to my daughter and other folk, but they won't talk to me because they don't like the way I talk, because I'm going to speak truth. And when you speak truth to power, power has a problem with that. So, I'm very displeased with the way this whole process has gone. I'm very displeased with the current status and situation. And I commend, I do. In the midst of all this, I want to commend the controller, Darlene Green. I want to commend her for doing her job, because she's done her job. She stepped up to the plate and she made it known, and she was perfectly clear that she had a problem with the way that things were going and what she was hearing as it relates to that grant process and how it worked. And what folks don't know is that rather than give some folks some money, they rather sit down and create hurdles and obstacles and barriers to prevent you from getting the resources. That's despicable. But this is from college educated people with degrees that are put in positions to represent our people in our community that don't have our best interests at heart. And that's the only way I can see it. If I'm wrong on anything, one of the things you're going to learn about Prince Carter, I encourage people anytime, if you ever in life hear me say anything that's wrong or not true, I encourage you to call me out on it. Please put my feet to the fire. Correct me when I'm wrong and where I'm wrong. But you got to correct me with facts and not fiction. So here's the deal. I want folks to understand that we as a people, as a community, are not doing our best. We're not, because we can do better than what we're doing. We are better than what we're doing, but we just are so, for lack of better words, divided. We're so divisive. We're so vindictive. Many of us don't even know folk. I got people, man, I'm going to show you something. I got people that will try to put a label on me and say things about me. Give you an example. I had a lady left a review on, I get some of the worst reviews on folks when they can't control you, when they can't lead you to do and say what they want you to do and say, you become problematic. Now, I had a lady went on social media and claimed that I was an asshole. That was her word. She said, I'm an asshole. Now, mind you, she also said that she enlisted some other people to come in to my place of business and evaluate me to see if they saw what she saw. And guess what? They all agreed I was an asshole. So, but that's a blanket statement. Never once did she say, well, you did A, B, and C, or you said X, Y, Z, and that's why you're an asshole. People get mad at me for the most pettiest reasons in the world. And I don't subscribe to nonsense and foolishness. I try to treat everybody the way I want to be treated. I try to treat people, and I don't try, for the most part, I do it. I treat people the way I want to be treated. And then, to take it a step further, you have to understand that for whatever reason, there are people in this world, if you don't agree with them, or if you're not saying what they want you to say, or if you won't do what they want you to do, then you're the worst person on earth. And that's just society today. I look at the work ethics of our young people. Many of them, they all want a job, they all want a check, but none of them, well, I ain't gonna say none, but most of them don't want to work. The excuses that we make for our generation, our people, our young folks, is overwhelming. We got to stop making excuses and find ways to enhance and better. There's no reason if you got somebody in your house, a young adult that isn't working, there's no reason they should be asleep right now. They should be up, washing their face, brushing their teeth, doing something around the house, getting ready to go out the door and find a job. We allow these folks to lay in the bed to sleep to 12, 1, 2, 3 o'clock. I had a couple of guys come by my place sometime at 3, 4 in the evening looking for work. Guess what? All the work has been done. If you want to get some work out of me, you got to be around 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, because I'm short-staffed then, and you got a better chance. They want to come at 3 o'clock in the evening. No, I don't. It's all been done. You late. And that's one of the things that we got to find out. We got to look at ways to, and I've been saying this for years, and I'm going to continue to say it, to find ways to have our young children in the middle school, elementary school level start researching and learning about different trades and how they can tap into a trade. Also, let them create seminars or simulations in the classroom in these different professions, whether it's electrician, plumbers, or whatever. They can even incorporate it into the computer to help educate and enlighten the children on the various different portions of this job and the different areas of a given job. We need to understand that it's important to start early in teaching our young children these things, because guess what? If you all ain't figured it out by now, I'm here to tell you, everybody ain't going to college. If y'all ain't figured that out by now, I'm going to tell you right now, everybody has not gone to college. Everybody's not going. It's a beautiful thing if you can go and enlighten and enhance your education and make America wealthy with these student loans and so on and so forth. That's one thing. But if you can't, one of the things I look at historically, before the so-called integration and all that, black men, many of them, some of them, a lot of them had anywhere from 8 to 15 kids, sometimes 16 children, as they say. Old folks say children. And they didn't have education, but they were able to work and find a way to work and create work and live off the land if need be. But they provided for them 8, 10, 12, 14, 16 children and stayed in the homes. Now, in 2024, we got guys that's spitting one baby over here and one baby over there and one baby over there, and ain't nobody taking care of nobody. That's problematic because it leaves children without fathers. It leaves children without mothers. And these children, many of them that lose their parents, can't adjust. They can't adapt to the world. They don't have a sense of direction. We have to find a way to invest back into these young folks that, for the most part, are clueless and have lack of direction. They have lack of supervision. They're not being properly loved. If a child is not being properly loved, he can't display love in the world. He can't give love back. If he don't know nothing about it, he ain't never had it, he haven't experienced love, then they of course they're going to be angry. Of course they're going to be mad. Of course they want to beat up the world. Of course they want to take your car. Of course they want to snatch your pocketbook. Because there's no love in them. Nobody's loved them. A lot of these children simply lack love. And they're not really bad kids. They just haven't been invested in. And that's one of the biggest problems that we have in our community, is that too many of our young people are not being invested in. We don't have enough mentors. We don't have enough positive folks to go around to reach out. One of the things I've noticed is that nowadays, a lot of these kids just trying to fit in with their homies because they ain't got nobody else to be with. So the problem that I have is that we as a community, as a society, have failed to invest into our young people, whether they're your children or not. There's a residual effect when we fail to invest in our youth. And that's one of the things that we need to look at. There's no way the kind of money that was sent and you didn't see tangible things done in our community. If I didn't do anything else, one of the first things I would have done when I got that $512 billion, I would have tore down World Center and rebuilt it and gave them new hope and new vision, better facilities, and came up with a facility that was more inclusive to that neighborhood and that community in today's society. That thing was built umpteen years ago, and it was suitable back then, but for now it's not, and there's a lot of disrepair and issues going on with World Center. We need positive places put back into our, because see, you can't ignore the fact in the city of St. Louis, for the most part, North St. Louis, I don't know what percentage it is, but there's a huge percentage of things that have been torn down and taken away from our communities and our young people. And this would have been a golden opportunity to try to replenish some of those things that were deleted. And I think that World Center is a area that needs to be looked at all up and down Martin Luther King. I would have, me personally, I just would have invested as much as I could into revitalizing and trying to revamp Martin Luther King. Historically, for those of you that are familiar with history, Martin Luther King used to be one of the most thrivingest thoroughfares in the city of St. Louis in the black community. We, for the most part, used to be able to do any and everything up and down Martin Luther King, all kind of businesses. This was an opportunity to bring some of that back and replace some of the stuff that's been torn down. You constantly tear down and tear down and tear down. You got to rebuild, people. You can't be doing all that tearing down and not rebuilding. So our community has been neglected and just raped and robbed of all of our bricks and so on and so forth. And now we have an opportunity to begin the process of rebuilding. And rather than start that process, those that elected to represent us just chose and decided to try to figure out ways how to circumvent the 400-page document by the federal government, because they didn't just give them that money. They gave them that money with some instructions, and the instructions were to start with the Hood Census Tract, rebuilding from the ground up. That's what the instructions were. And nobody can tell me I'm wrong on those instructions. Nobody can tell me that I didn't hear the president say these things. Nobody can do that because he said them. And the mere fact that nobody's trying to call me out on it lets you know that I know what I'm talking about. So these folk are fronting and flexing and all this other stuff after they done sat on this money for coming up on 4 years. And not once have you heard them say anything about the interest that the money has created. How much does anybody out there, if anybody, because I don't know the answer to the question, I'm gonna just throw it out there, and you don't have to say your name or nothing. But if you can call 314-732-1212 and tell me how much interest would $37 million bring in 3 years? I don't know the answer to that because I ain't good on those percentages and know the interest rates and all that. I ain't up on all that, but I know that there is a percentage of that money that will be returned in interest from sitting around for 3 years. And what happens to the interest? Where is the interest going? Is there any accountability? That's one thing maybe we need to ask Darlene Green because I don't even know if she knows where the money's sitting and where the money is being allocated to. She's asking for transparency, as she should. Should have asked for it up front before we even started the process. But nonetheless, I think that we are at a place to whereas they know folk are watching and they know that they're going to be held accountable. So they're going to be doing some real slick stuff in the days to come to try to get out of what they've created, because they've dug a hole and they're in this hole now. And rather than just accept the fact that we messed up, let's fix it and move forward, they rather try to circumvent and move around and try to swindle their way out of this and make it appear as if nothing was done wrong. And I don't see them being able to accomplish that. So with that being said, I'm going to take a quick short break here before we wrap up. But if anybody can tell me about the interest of that money, I'd like to know.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother, talk to me, sister.
It is time for us to use our power. nobody is going to give it to you. You were born with power.
Some very sad news for all of you and people who love peace all over the world. Martin Luther King was shot and was killed tonight in Memphis.
I will never say that progress is being made. If you stick a knife in my back 9 inches and pull it out 6 inches, there's no progress. You pull it all the way out, that's not progress. The progress is healing the wound that's below me.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brothers, talk to me, sisters.
But the hard truth is that not everyone is sharing in this city's splendor and glory. There are more poor than ever, more families in trouble, more and more people who need help but can't find it.
A struggle against the common enemies of man, tyranny, poverty, disease, and war itself.
We believe that all men are created equal, yet many are denied equal treatment.
And so we say to all in this nation who would dare listen to us, black, white, Jew, Gentile, Asian, Latino, that we are brothers and sisters in a long and difficult struggle.
In the air. Talk to me now. Talk to me. Okay, I think
I'm hearing revolution in the air.
I think I'm back. Woo, what a morning. Okay, this is Prince Carter. I'm your host at the Prince Carter Show on this beautiful Tuesday morning. We were just talking about some things. I'm finna start doing my podcast back. I think I'm going to go with the 6 o'clock hour. What we're going to do is we're going to do this program every morning for 1 hour, and it'll be from 6 to 7. But if you're not up at 6 or you're not up at 7, you can go back to the YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel over there, and you can play the show back on our YouTube channel. And the name of let me see here. Let me see if I can get that name for you right quick for the YouTube channel. It is right over here, and I'm going to have to click on this. You know, one of the things I've been noticing is that, the YouTube channel is King Prince Carter Speaks. That's King Prince Carter Speaks. You can go back and listen to all of the programming and the podcast that we've done since the first of the year as it relates to the American Rescue Plan funds. That money, in my opinion, is some money that could have really been used properly. It would have really helped portions of our community. It wouldn't fix everything. It's not enough to fix all the ills and the things that we are confronted with. But it would have made a huge difference if done properly. I would have liked to have seen as much money as possible spent in one given area in North St. Louis, like Martin Luther King, for instance. If you can invest in bringing back a business district in our community, that's one of the things that elevates, motivates, and uplifts the community, is having a good, strong business district. Most of the areas out there that are successful, be it Clayton, Creve Coeur, Central West End, areas like the Grove, and so on and so forth, that have a thriving business district, those areas seem to do better. I would like to see Martin Luther King become a pillar in our community that once again serves as a business district for black folk. I want to see as many black businesses as possible lined up and down Martin Luther King again. We could do that. And this was an opportunity to get the ball rolling in that direction. But unfortunately, those that represent you and I and that look like you and I thought it was a better idea to just take care of, get some of this money to my politician friends and some of my family members, my buddies, my partners, and forget about the rest of the community. We'll throw a sprinkle of inkling to some folks over here and over there. But for the most part, what I'm seeing and the way I'm looking at this thing, it's been used for campaign purposes. It's being used to help galvanize support for political favors. That's the way it's looking to me. Now, how it look to you, I don't know. But the way it looks to me is that folk are going to be getting awarded monies in exchange for favors. Business as usual, y'all. And that's what's so heartbreaking about this. This money came from a pot that they did not create. They had no right to take those monies and just give them to their politician friends. The money was sent here by the federal government post-COVID for businesses and people that had experienced a tragedy. And they sat on the money to draw the interest, create barriers and loopholes to prevent you from getting the money. And then this is what they do right in front of everybody, the whole wide world. I'm not making this stuff up. I didn't do this. I didn't create this. I didn't tell them to give millions of dollars to millionaires and corporations that are not even in the city of St. Louis. I didn't tell them to do that, but they did it. And it ain't my fault. Okay? So those are some of the things we're going to be looking at in the days to come. Again, I'm going to start off at 6 o'clock in the morning, and it'll be from 6 to 7 every morning. And after that, it'll be posted on the YouTube channel, which is King Prince Carter Speaks. And I'm going to ask you to go to that YouTube and subscribe to that channel, as well as continue to keep up with us on a daily basis, because there's some things that are going to be happening this week that I can't tell you about right now, but it's going to be happening later on this week. It's going to be a call to action, and there's some things that we're going to be doing in the days to come that I'm not going to be able to tell you about them until we're getting ready to execute them, and we're doing it that way so that we can utilize the element of surprise and on different fronts. We can't speak on everything we're doing and we're going to do, but we can tell you right before we execute it so that you can know that we are serious about seeking these funds. We're serious about getting some economic justice as it relates to the injustice that was inflicted upon a people in a community by holding hostage rescue plan funds for almost 4 years. We're going to be talking about these things every day. And again, this program is not just for the American Rescue Plan. There's other things that's going on in our community that we need to be talking about as well, especially the city of St. Louis inability to enforce traffic laws. There is no. I would like to see somebody do a stat sheet on number of citations issued yearly for the last 10 years, and see a comparison. They should go for the let's say this is 2024. Go back to 2010 and on up, and each year do a total account for how many citations that were issued and what areas they were issued in, and so on. Nobody's going to do that, but that would be something that you could then see the lack of enforcement of traffic laws. These people are not just driving like this because it's okay. They're driving like it because there's no accountability. Nobody's going to pull them over. And now they've even implanted in some of our young people's mind that they can't chase you. So if they try to pull you over, all you got to do is run. They can't chase you. And so that's making things even more complicated. What can you do about that? I don't know. If something can be done, somebody can figure out something. But I just want to see those numbers for the last 10 years. Are they issuing more or less? I would say it's a big difference, a huge difference 10 years ago versus today in the number of tickets that are being issued. I'd like to see that. But nonetheless, I got to wrap up, folks, and get ready to get out of here. It's going to do it for today. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I'm your host, Prince Carter. This is the Prince Carter Show on the Information Superhighway. I'll see y'all tomorrow morning.
I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. I think I'm hearing revolution in the air. Tell me, brother.